this is how I got fucked today. So, I'm just gonna try to keep it short. I got fucked twice pretty hard. Um, we made an SMT during pre-market off of these lows. ES swept them. And then we had broken structure to the upside on both. And market opened. We tested it into equilibrium. And then respected it. I mean, I don't know. We tested into it, but we came down pretty far. I guess that should have been a bit of a red flag. And I think we made an SMT off of those lows. Yeah, right here. So, I don't know. I was definitely bullish today. We had London and Asian highs pretty close to each other here, as well as this hourly high, which did end up getting hit, but not during my trade. Uh, I don't even think my execution was off today, or my risk management or anything. It was just a highly impactful news day, and yeah, I don't know. Got stopped out at 6:45 when high impact news came out, and then 7. I did lose again here. Not like I had de-risked for that, and like I didn't really lose much, but because of the news coming out. But I shouldn't have even traded at that point. I think I got in on this candle, obviously with my stops here. um, yeah, we swept that, respected 5-minute structure, inversed this gap, then came down into equilibrium and pushed out of it, and I got in long there. I really don't think it was a bad trade. I mean, we didn't sweep liquidity on Nasdaq, but we made a high time frame SMT, and we swept out like all of this other liquidity aside from this hourly low. So I don't know. I thought it was a pretty good entry, but just sometimes it doesn't work out, especially if you're trading on high impact news. Should have been ready for that, but then this was the second trade where I ended up losing more money, and that was revenge trading at that point. I shouldn't have, but and we had already swept this out. Like I was already skeptical getting into this trade, but I didn't want to accept the loss. This wasn't a trade I took. I think it was something I was looking at, but yeah, I don't know. We swept this liquidity. We made an SMT. ES didn't sweep that, and then rallied. I would have liked to get in for this movement, and I was trying to. Like we broke 79% fib here, and like I don't know. I wouldn't say we broke structure after, because breaking the 79% fib is breaking structure in my eyes. And this red candle, I was just waiting for it to test this order block here, something for me to get in, but it just end up not going down that far. And I couldn't get in for that move, which was pretty upsetting. I don't think there was anything on the 15-minute. Yeah, no. No, but there was this gap on the 15-minute for the second trade I got into, as well as this gap on the 5-minute. And we did break structure on NASDAQ, but ES we didn't, and this looked pretty bullish. Tested this gap, closed out of it. We were already in an uptrend. Like, that could have been an entry right there. But I probably would have targeted these highs, which didn't end up getting hit. Um, but on Nasdaq, since we broke structure to the downside, I didn't want to get in based off of an up candle from this fair value gap. And then right after, we ended up testing this bearish fair value gap and respecting it as well. So I was even more skeptical, because we have break and then 5-minute retrace, and then probably some kind of 1-minute confluence, sweep, break, retrace, and then yeah, I don't know. I think we tested the gap here, I think. But and actually, yeah, I was looking for a short, but it didn't, like we didn't give me an entry aside from this break here. But I really like getting in just off of a break of structure, like usually like a fair value gap, inverse fair value gap, order block, breaker block, equilibrium, something like that. So just wasn't quite enough, and then we started making up candles, and my bias flipped because I know we had swept liquidity, but London and Asian high were pretty close. I thought this would have just been a higher time frame retrace on the 15-minute, like there was that gap back there. We test the 5-minute gap, and then yeah, bullish closure out of it somewhere around here. I think 745. Then the bearish candle opens, closes at 750 here, and then after that, there's another up candle coming out of it, and we broke structure on the 5 minute, as well as this break of structure here and inversing this gap here. So I got in off of that candle and then said fuck it, and yeah, I literally was in profit for a couple minutes. Not very much profit, enough for me to do anything off of. And yeah, of course we respected this fucking gap here and then went lower. And I couldn't really go short off of that either because, like, yeah, we broke structure, but then broke structure again to the upside. We didn't really break the 79% or anything to the downside until here. We broke structure and then it just went up. Like, market today was fucking shittered, and it was I think PMI or something, a bunch of PMI news, pre-market CPI news, 6:45, and then consumer sentiment, new home sales, some other shit at 7. So definitely shouldn't have traded. And tomorrow I'll probably be saying the same thing because Federal Chair Powell speaks, Trump speaks, some other Fed something chair something speaks, FOMC news twice. It's really probably not a good idea to trade tomorrow, but these highs, definitely a strong draw on liquidity. Those have to be swept at some point. And I don't know how much lower we're going to go because, like, this was already the huge fucking crash we had recently. And that's going to be, I don't know, pretty resistant to go down there. Although if we did sweep that, we'd probably see a good push to the upside. So, I don't know. We'll have to see. But, yeah, I got fucked in the ass today. This was absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. Just gotta be smarter. My previous trades, working my way up in this account, like my first couple trades were completely valid. Like I had good profit and like they went well, and then trade by trade I just got like greedier and more worried about my trades, and I'd lower my take profit more and more and then hit it, and it would have hit my original take profit, or I'll take too much profit, or I'll trail my stop loss and then end up getting stopped out, and then it rallied to my final take profit. So I'm just gonna wait for high time frame sweep of some kind of liquidity, 5 minute break, 5 minute retest, 1 minute confluence, set my stop loss and take profit. Even though today it didn't work out, like sometimes it, like I said, it just doesn't work out. But more often than not, it does, and more often than not, it hits my final take profits that I have set. So I gotta stick with the plan, and hopefully I can make a comeback because I got fucked today. Alright, that's it.